What's up, y'all? So today video is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be more of a recap style video of our trip to Toledo Bend. Overall, the trip was very tough. You heard me say that quite a few times throughout the video. We got on some fish the last day we were there. We started doing something a little bit different. Started fishing a little shallower than we had the past couple days. We thought those fish may have been done spawning and started to move out into the deeper water and start feeding up on some of the shad and stuff. But we just couldn't make anything happen that way. I think we caught one fish, which was probably close to 2.5, 3 pounds that way. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that clip right now. Alright, y'all, so I just stuck this one on a crankbait. It's been tough so far. I've been out here probably 4 or 5 hours, and this is our first fish. It's a good fish, but it's been tough. His tail's still bloody. He was in like 20 foot of water, so we're gonna see if we can't catch some more. Probably go in a little while and eat, and then head back out for the evening bite. So stay tuned for some more big fish. So that fish was in about 20 foot of water. It was a solid fish. It was the only fish we had caught that first day. The second day was extremely similar. We only got one other bite. Slade caught it in a little bit of grass further south on the lake on a little stick bait, but that was it for the first 2 days. This right here is going to be the third day of the trip. We tried to get out there a little bit earlier, fish as long as we can. We fished a little bit different area of the lake closer to where we were staying. We were able to get a little bit more fishing time in, see if we couldn't get some bites. We ended up fishing some thicker grass than we had. First place we really found grass like this. So we started throwing a frog around, and I had a couple bites. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that too right here. Oh, I broke off.
Damn.
That fish smoked it. I watched him come out of the water and eat it. So after that frog bite, it pretty much died. Slade tied one on. I lost the only frog that I had. And then we started flipping kind of the outskirts of the grass, kind of on the windier points. And we managed to actually pick one up, and then it was like all of a sudden we actually kind of figured out somewhat what the fish were doing. So here's a little bit of what we figured out. We ought to catch a big bass off this point. I wish we would catch a big bass off this point, on camera. Any way possible. Preferably on this crawfish or this bro frog.
Check the bite times.
89% day my day. Oh, there's one. Right where he's supposed to be. Oh, that's a better fish than I thought it was. Cool, he liked to jerk the rod out of my hand.
The bite time's getting better right now. So there you go.
My wish came true. Oh. So, let's have a little chat. Throughout 3 days, this is our fourth fish. And he's not super big. So, needless to say, it's been a little tough. Just setting.
Yeah, one of them just flew up and like flapped its wings down to the other.
There's another one. Oh yeah. Oh, he's fighting hard. God. Good Lord. Oh God. He's thick. He ate it too. Cool. Oh, he ate it all the way.
Baby. Look it. Measure him and see if he's 14 before you.
Well, just caught another one. He's a fat, healthy fish. He's got a little bit of shoulders on him. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get him unhooked, because we kind of hooked him way down deep. Let him eat it a little too long.
What's up, dudes? I just caught this one right there off that little brush pile. Oh, it's over there. Yeah, I caught him off a brush pile off this little, it's a baby brush hog. I think it's watermelon red. I fished that a lot at the house, so figured why not do it while we're on this little pattern here. He's a pretty healthy fish. He smoked it. I pitched it in there, and before it could even fall to the bottom, he hit it. So we've been following a little bit of a pattern here the last 20-30 minutes. So let's see if me and Brennan can stay on it. Stay tuned.
So in those few clips, we caught more fish in probably about a 30 to 40 minute stretch than we had the entire trip. So it was the last day we managed to get on a bite, which kind of stinks, but at least we were able to pick up some fish on the last day. I think we finished with catching about 7 or 8 that day. We finished all around with the trip close to 10 fish. Then we had some sac-a-lait and some bream too. But they were really staging on that wood and grass mix. That's where we ended up picking up a few more bites, kind of on some brush piles, some laydowns with a little bit of grass in the area. And then also the windy points that came out with the grass that extended a little bit further. It wasn't like it was in deep water. I think the deepest that we fished in that area was probably close to 5 foot. We figured out that a lot of those fish were still spawning, which surprised us. But I mean, the weather's been crazy here all year. We didn't have a rough winter, but some of those fish, just the water rose so much and it's just thrown those fish off. So we were able to pick up a few like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of what we caught them on. The first day, I caught that fish on a little bit deeper diving crankbait. That was about 12 foot. It's a Spro Little John Baby DD. I really like throwing those crankbaits, especially on lakes like that. There's always a good crankbait bite, but I say always. This time we didn't get on much of one. Everybody we talked to said the same thing. Normally you can always catch fish on crankbaits in Toledo Bend, but this time it was a little bit different. And then the last day, when we actually got on a good bite, I was just throwing a little Rage Crawl in Okeechobee Crawl as the color. That's a color I like to throw because I get a lot of bites on it around here, and anywhere I go it kind of resembles the crawfish in the South, in Louisiana. So it's a good craw for me. I have a lot of confidence in it. Slade was throwing a little baby brush hog and watermelon red. So a lot of those colors here work extremely well. But those were our main two baits that we caught fish on, the brush hog and the Rage Crawl. And then I picked that one nice one up on the crankbait in about 20 foot of water. So those fish are a little spread out right now. It was tough for us to kind of pattern them. Typical post-spawn, spawn, transition. It's tough to get on a pattern, but when you find them, you can normally pick up quite a few. Once again, I just want to say thank y'all for watching. It was a tough trip for us, but I know we'll be able to get on some fish next time. I'm looking to go back with one of my buddies, go back and maybe get a guide a little bit later in the year, kind of mid-June. Those fish will be on those points a little bit better in a little bit deeper water. That's the way I like to catch them. I like catching them on those big crankbaits, feeling that bite. We're going to see if we can't go again. Got some other trips planned up. We're going to Grand Isle, maybe to Delco pretty soon. The trout have been on fire over there, catching some reds too. So we've got a lot planned this summer. The hats, once again, stay tuned for the Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description. The hats should be coming in relatively soon. Same with the shirts. So I'm excited about that. We're going to have a couple different things. We're going to start off slow to start out, and then hopefully we can pick it up and do some different things, get some different designs. But overall, thank y'all for the support. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned until next time.